Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of FSI DFS. I'm MegRuler31, here to break down the 8-game slate for Monday, May 17th, 2021. I really like this 8-game slate. It's kind of nice and manageable. So it's part of the triple plays. Here's the 3 plays. At first, I'll just go over weather, some pitchers I like, some stacks I like. So if you're playing cash and don't have much time, you can just take those notes and plug away. Then for the second play, I will go through all the different games and give you some more in-depth notes. And then for the third play, at the end, I'll look at a few lineup constructions for your cash games that you can consider tonight. So start off with pitching. We actually have 3 stud pitchers for once on this slate. We have Garrett Cole up top, and then we have Yu Darvish and Walker Buehler. So it's kind of nice having some options to pick from today. And I think, they're all in good matchups. So what do we do with this? So Garrett Cole is definitely my favorite pitcher. He's against the Texas Rangers. He's been having a really great season. By far, love the matchup. Love his stance for strikeouts. He's at home. It's he's on the road. So that still doesn't scare me. Garrett Cole, my number 1 favorite pitcher at 10-9. Yu Darvish would be number 2 on the list. He gets his equally as good matchup. You save $700 on him. He's against the Colorado Rockies, who are horrible outside of Coors Field. I like Cole better because I think the Yankees have a super high implied run total against a Texas pitcher who's really not that good. The San Diego bats, they face John Gray, who has been bad in Coors, but he's been tough against righties. So it's conceivable that it's a close game in a pitcher's duel. San Diego usually has the better offense, so we'll see there. But I believe San Diego will win, but I think the Yankees have a much better chance of getting Cole the win. Third guy would be Walker Buehler. I'm kind of out on him. I'm okay playing him in some scenarios if you need the $200 extra to go down from him from Darvish, if you want to be a little bit different if those two are the highest pitchers on the slate. If you want something different, the only thing is we talk about with the Dodgers is sometimes they have shorter leashes on their pitchers because they have such a good bullpen. Their starters don't need to pitch as deep. They come up against Arizona. Arizona has been in middle of the pack in strikeouts for the last 14 days. So it's not like a team like Texas that strikes out a lot or Colorado that strikes out a lot. So I think there will be some Ks, but not as much of an opportunity. Plus, Arizona has scored some runs and Buehler's given up some runs. So not completely off him, but I think that he is definitely number 3 out of those ones. The next group of pitchers that I would even consider are all in the 7K range. As I said, John Gray is a good pitcher outside of Coors Field, tough against righties, which there's a lot of righties in this lineup. So again, he's up against a good pitcher, so it would be kind of hard if you're pitching Darvish in cash. If you think that if the win's important to you, then that might not happen for Gray. But at 7.5, I think he's able to definitely make value here. Max Fried against the Mets. The Mets have gotten better since they switched hitting coaches, but they aren't the greatest. Does look like it's going to be a very warm day, almost 80 degrees in Atlanta, but the wind's going to be blowing in, so that might mitigate some of the hard contact. Fried seems to be stretched out. He seems to be getting up there to the 90, the 100 pitch range. At 7.3, I think he's a little bit underpriced here. The Mets have struggled at times hitting, so he's definitely in play here. But my absolute favorite SP2, and I think the pairing for almost most of players in cash are going to be Garrett Cole and Kikuchi from Seattle. Kikuchi has had a couple bad outings, but they're against Houston and the Dodgers, so that's really good offenses there. But he's been solid other than that. He gets a Detroit team who is horrible. He's got a 26% K rate. Detroit doesn't really get a lot of power. They strike out, they're free swinging, and they're against a really bad pitcher on the other side in Mies. So Seattle bats are definitely going to be in play, and I think he's got the win upside. So there's really nobody else on the slate that I would consider pitching wise, even getting cute in this. I think the rest of them are very questionable. We'll get to that when we go around. So let's talk some bats here. So bats, obviously, the Yankees are the best stack. They have a 5.7 or 5.17 run total against Jordan Lyles in Texas. I like everybody that the Yankees put out there. You just don't have to try to it's going to be hard if you play Cole at 10-9 and then you play Kikuchi at 7-8. You'd have to probably play two mid-range pitchers to get a full Yankee stack in there because they are expensive. But don't be afraid to take some of the guys that are in the bottom lineup or mixed in, like looking at the projective lineup. Urshela at 4.8, it's still a little bit expensive, but Frazier, if he's in at 3.1, Gardner at 2.7, Higgy as a catcher usually catches Cole, so he at 3.4, he's got some power, like him there. Tyler Wade potentially is in the lineup too at 2.4. Ford might be in the lineup, you don't know. So look who's in that lineup, and there's definitely some opportunities for some cheaper bats to take under 3K. The nice thing is on the road, so that means that they get to bat at the top of the ninth inning, so you don't lose an inning there. So there's definitely opportunities there. So that's my favorite stack. Next stack I want to look at is Cleveland. They're up against Patrick Sandoval. He by far has the highest home run per 5 ball ratio in this slate of pitchers tonight. I like the right-handed batters especially here, but I'm not afraid of the lefties because I looked at the Angels bullpen, and they are one of the worst bullpens against anybody, first of all. And when you look at the home run to fly ball ratio and home run per 9, versus righties, they're 2.4, which is third overall, and against lefties, they're 1.8. So it doesn't matter what side of the plate. So people might not play like Rosario or Naylor or any of the lefties that might enter into this Cleveland lineup. I think they're fine too, especially if you need their price point. But Harold Ramirez is an outfielder at 2.2, gets the split advantage. Reyes, I think, is one of my favorite plays on the slate. He's got great power, especially versus lefties. I think these guys are in a great situation. Lupo, if he's batting up in the second spot at 3.1, so they're priced well. I don't know if you'll be able to get up to like Ramirez or Cesar Hernandez, because and especially with Ramirez, that third base spot I think might be reserved for another player, which I'm going to get to in a second. So Cleveland righties, and then let's get to that player. Seattle, definitely love this against Casey Mies. He's been a really bad pitcher. These Seattle bats are reasonably priced. Love the lefties, Kyle Seager, so I think he'll take this to third base spot. So if you want to go contrarian, I think Seager's going to have high ownership, and you want to go Ramirez, and you can actually afford the 5.7 price tag, but I would rather save the 2.2K and go with Kyle Seager at 4.5 here. Clinic, if he continues to lead off, he's like one of their top prospects, been doing well. His price has gone up 1K, where he's like mid-price a couple days ago. I think it's still pretty low. So he's lefty there. Put Hangiger in the middle there. Kyle Lewis, you can throw on the stack too. JP Crawford at 2.8, lefty matchup. I like that also. So if you're looking for some value bats, I like the Nationals again against Alzolay for the Cubs. I think you've got some really good guys around 3K here with Harrison, Schwarber, Castro, and Bell. And the Cubs are also in a really good matchup against John Lester. They tend to be pricey, but if you can get like a Matt Duffy or if you can afford Bote in the lineup, I think that they would be good also. Okay, so that kind of wraps up where we're looking at for pitching and batting. So let's just look kind of game by game. So Mets at the Braves, T.J. Walker, Max Fried. I think they're decent pitchers. Walker has had a good start to the season. 9.1 is way too high to pay for him against the Braves. I think the Braves can get to him. It's going to be hot there. So in this game, the only thing I'd really look at is Max Fried if you want to go down from Kikuchi and take a chance on him. If you really need to save like $500, I think I just pay the $500 and go up to Kikuchi. Here, I just look for like one-off power bats. You have Fried, who's a lefty, so Lindor, Alonso there, and Walker being the righty. I don't know if Cunha is going to be back in the lineup. He's 6'3", which is way too high, but Freeman at 5'6", Ozuna, Albies. I wouldn't look too far down in the lineup. So these guys, unless you just feel something strongly about one of these teams and stack them, maybe a one-off, but I just don't think that this game makes sense to play tonight. Okay. So in Chicago, the Nationals versus the Cubs. Lester has had an okay season, but I just think he's punching above his weight class. He's about ready to run out of luck, and maybe the Cubs bats come to life. And maybe it's a revenge game. Maybe he goes out there and throws a no-hitter. Who knows? It's baseball. Anything could happen. The wind looks like it's blowing across the field, so I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. Temperatures look a little bit cool, like probably in like the high 50s for game time. So that should hold power down a little bit. But again, like I said, I really like if you skip like Turner and Soto, Harrison Schwarber, Castro, Bell, all under 4K are decent bats there. And if you want to take in a GPP, I just don't think it makes sense in cash. You might have to pay down a couple of pitchers to get these guys in, but if you take Contreras, Bryant, I would take Rizzo also. I mean, he's had some success against Leicester. Baez, go with a 3 or 4 man mini stack here. I don't know if there's a fifth guy really liking that against Leicester. I'm okay with that. White Sox and Twins, Keuchel and Happ, these guys faced each other not too long ago. There's 21 runs in this game, and 17 were attributed to both of these starting pitchers. Keuchel gave up, 6 runs, and both of them, like, they just don't throw Ks. They're like bottom 5 in strikeouts percentage on the slate. So, but they also have low home run rates. I think Keuchel's was 0.12 and Happ was 0.15. So there are some of the lowest power numbers on the slate. So it's going to be a dink and dunk game. If you're looking at bullpen as the deciding factor, Minnesota by far has the worst, not worst bullpen, but their bullpen's pretty bad compared to the White Sox ones. They have one of the highest home runs per 9 in Major League Baseball, but the White Sox is like 20th. So I don't think the Minnesota bats are going to have an opportunity for much power here. It's always possible. But I do like, if you want to go contrarian option here, to stack some stuff if everybody else is focusing on the Yankees and Seattle and Cleveland. I think looking at the runs that were scored here, that this is possibly some good GPP stacks, especially if like Leroy Garcia is batting second, switch hitter, 2.9K. That's a really good price there. He might be a one-off to play in cash. Vaughn, if he ever moves up in the lineup. Billy Hamilton's had like a 40-point game, but then other games are like 0. Like this might be the Billy Hamilton type of game because he's not really a power hitter, but if he can get on base and then steal 1, steal 2, like those points keep on adding up. So it does seem like a Billy Hamilton type of game. He's only 2.5. And on the White Sox, Garlick leading off 2-4 like that. Rob Reef-Snyder in the lineup. Don't know too much about him, but 2-1 at outfield. Sano, maybe he'll move up the order a little bit. 3K for first base. Not a bad price for him either. So like the righties there. And Cruz, usually mashes left-handed pitching. So again, I don't know how much power these guys don't give up too much home runs. Not saying it won't happen. It looks like 10-mile-per-hour wind blowing in at 80 degrees. So there's that. We already talked about the Yankees. Wouldn't touch anything on the Texas team. Again, Garrett Cole is probably the top pitcher. These Yankee bats are good. I did see Stanton is questionable day to day. So if he's out of the lineup, maybe again like Clint Ford or some other person moves into the outfield. into the lineup, and that would be a good bat. Maybe it'll shake up the batting order a little bit, and you'll get some of these cheaper guys closer to the top. But then again, I really don't care. I like any of these guys in the order. Higgy's a decent catcher at 3-4 with some power. We talked about the Indians. Righties, lefties, doesn't matter. Sandoval might only go 3-4 innings, especially if he gets blown up. Neither one of these pitchers in this game are an option, and neither one have pitched deep into games. So definitely like any of the Cleveland bats. Again, I said Ramirez would be a very interesting contrarian play because I think a lot of people will be playing Seager from Seattle at the third base spot. So there's on FanDuel, you can play both, which is cool. Looking at the Angels, Ward's really cheap leading off. He's not great, but he does have the split advantage. Ohtani, Trout, Rendon. Fan favorite of the show here, Justin Upton, is back down under 3K again. He's 2.8. He's dropped down to 7th, but that's just a projected order. He could move up there. Suzuki at 2.9. Sorry, going back to Cleveland. Hedges, even though he's batting 9th, has a split advantage. He's a decent hitting catcher, and he's only 2.4. So I think he's my top catcher of the day also. Again, we looked at Seattle. There's nobody I'd take on the Detroit team. They're a bunch of singles and doubles, not much power, lots of strikeouts against good pitcher. So that would be like the ultimate contrarian. Stack them in Texas if you want to stack the two of them, and stack Yu Darvish and Buehler. That might be the weirdest GPP winning play ever, but again, anything can possible. So, but I'm not advising it at all. Looking at the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, again, I wouldn't really like the Diamondbacks. Buehler has given up a couple runs, but if you're like home run hunting or something, I don't even know like where he would start here. Maybe Escobar, Peralta, but that's GPP only, and you're really speculating there. And I think the Diamondbacks have a better chance to get to Buehler than Mies does to get to or that the Tigers get to Kikuchi, or that the Rangers get to Cole. And the Dodgers, they're a great team. I just think they're kind of off the radar. Bumgarner has started the season really good. I think there's going to be some regression there, definitely. You have some nice righties against him as a lefty. So, it puts Betts, Turner, Taylor, Smith, Neus in the mix. DJ Peters might get the start also. Right-hander, it's kind of buried on the bench. So Dodgers have a lot of weapons. There's always a good team. I never see them, and it's an issue of playing them if you want to. But again, I think there's going to be more popular stacks. So definitely contrarian, and definitely something if you're playing like a 20 max entry to throw a Dodger stack out there tonight. No problem with that. Rockies, wouldn't even touch them offensively. John Gray, I do like. I think it's a hard matchup up against Darvish to get the win, but I think he can, even though San Diego's been okay, just looking at some of the players in this lineup that they're throwing out there, Grady, Marciano, Kim, Chiarantini, it's not as a potent, especially with like Tatis out. It's not their A lineup by any means, so there's some opportunity there. Darvish is an excellent play against the Rockies, and I think maybe some one-off lefty bats. Grady's cheap at 2.3. He's not the best, but if he fits in your lineup there, that works. Cronenworth, Grissom, I think that's as far as I go. So as we said, let's talk about some lineup constructions here. So if you play both Darvish and Cole on DK, that leaves you $3,612 for the rest of your lineup on average. However, if you take Hedges as catcher, who I said is my favorite catcher at 2.4, that gives you $3,786, which that isn't bad at all. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stack Seattle. I'm going to take Kalinick, I'm going to take Hanger, and I'm going to take Seager. So I'm going to throw those three in. Shortstop, and looking through, I think Crawford is a great option there. So he's going to be the fourth one in the stack. If you want to go fifth and throw Lewis in, that's fine, but that takes out your whole outfield. So I'm not looking at that, and I don't think there's anybody else really on this team that I want to throw in here. So I think a 3 to 4 man Seattle stack is where I'm at. So my favorite build has Clinic, Hanger, Seager, and Crawford in it. That leaves me 4K left for the second outfield spot and first and second base. So I think in that outfield spot, I'm going to lock in Reyes at 42. And then that's able to get me some decent choices at first or second base. If I talked about the Washington guys being cheap, so Bell and Harrison work there. That gives you a little bit more money, so you can pay up more on catcher. I think you maybe be able to get up to like Higgy from the Yankees to get some exposure there. If you throw Judge in the lineup, you can maybe play Bell and Harrison, or you need some really cheap first and second base plays there. But I think you might need to either drop down and catcher and hope that there's somebody below 2.4, because I think you're about $100 or $200 short there, or you might need to drop down from Darvish to Buehler. If you're trying to get the Yankees in, I think you'd need to go Cole and Kikuchi, and then I would keep the same Seattle guys there. You could drop Haniger if you wanted to try to get both Judge and Stanton in the lineup. But again, I don't know if Stanton's playing. But keeping with the Seattle guys, keeping Clinic, Crawford, and Seager, you can get like maybe a combination of Voit and Stanton and Judge in if they're playing, but then you'd have to, for second base, if you want to get Yankees exposure, you might be able to go to Wade. He's only 2.4, but then you'd have to drop down and catcher, or drop down from Kikuchi to one of the other 7-point something pitchers like Fried or possibly Gray. So I think that's what my construction is going to be. Just to kind of recap, Gold's the top pitcher. So you just got to figure out if you're pairing him with Darvish or Walker Buehler, or if you're dropping down to Kikuchi, which opens up some salary. I think you really need to play 3 or 4 of the Seattle Mariners in your stack. They're in a great situation. Sprinkle in some Yankees. Don't be afraid to play anybody in that lineup. You don't have to stack the top. If you're looking for some cheap bats, Washington has some that fit. Cleveland has some also. The Cleveland righties are in a good spot also. And then if you're looking for some other one-offs, there's a GPP build. White Sox Twins yielded a lot of runs last time out with these 2 pitchers, and the Dodgers, as always, are a decent play. So I'm Mega Ruler 31 for FSI's Fantasy Sports. If you want some more information about us, check out the information in our bio below. It'll take you to our website. You can join our Discord. We have so many free things to offer our members. We also do have premium packages where we give full cores, and there's a VIP package too. So if you just don't want to sign up for one sport, it gives you access to everything. And pricing for this compared to some of the other things in the industry is very, very reasonable. We need to make money as a company to be able to pay the bills for different things, but our primary mission is to help you guys be better players. So as always, we love comments, so drop a comment below. I try to check throughout the day to get back to you. If you don't, then hit me up on Twitter at MegaRuler31. Send me a friend request there or whatever, follow me, and follow you back, and then you can PM me anything that you want, and we'll try to do what we can to help you out. So thanks again for watching. Please give us a like, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, so you can know when our videos are coming out, and recommend to some friends. If you like and we're helping you, then spread the word. We really appreciate that. So until next time, Mega Rulers out.